It's Andre from High Performance Academy here. Let's check out what's been going on around HPA over the last week. This is a video we released recently that has actually caused a little bit of controversy. And I just wanted to clear up some of the comments here. This is an interview we shot at World Time Attack with Herman from Platinum Racing Products. And basically, it's a discussion about a new product that Herman is coming up with in conjunction with Chris from Crest CNC, which is an aftermarket cast block for the RB26. Crest are also producing these shortly for the Subaru as well. So there's some comments in here that ruffled a few feathers, which is in line with the fact that billet blocks are not ideally suited to street applications. That's Herman's opinion, and he's obviously absolutely entitled to this. We've had other guests on both our podcast as well as our YouTube channel that also have inferred exactly the same thing. So it's not an uncommon belief, but I wanted to dive a little bit deeper because we're not here to say that billet blocks cannot be streetable. That's clearly not the case. I spoke to Darren from Bullet Race Engineering, one of the premier billet block manufacturers on this side of the world, and he was pretty adamant that he's got hundreds of customers around the world running billet blocks in street cars every day. So let's dive into that quickly. I'm not going to go too much detail because we will be producing a video that goes a lot further in the not too distant future. Essentially, the problem that we're talking about here is the fact that a billet block tends to grow more as it comes up to operating temperature than a cast iron or even a cast aluminium block. The problem that this creates is that our main bearing clearances are going to change quite a lot from room temperature to running temperature. So there's two ways around this. One is that we can set our cold clearances quite tight. And that will mean that when they grow at operating temperature, they'll be where we want them to be. Now, I'm not saying here that this requires preheating or the engine won't turn over. There's a lot of myths around Formula One engines that they won't turn over at room temperature, which is actually complete garbage. Of course they turn over, but they do preheat them to save any potential metal-to-metal contact and make sure that everything's going to last as long as it can. So if we go down this path, it requires a little bit of understanding and care because basically cold starting the engine, particularly in very, very cold climates, maybe sub-0 degrees C, and then driving the car very hard immediately can definitely result in bearing contact to the crankshaft journal and a lot of damage. I'd argue that we probably shouldn't be thrashing an engine from stone cold, regardless whether it's an aftermarket billet block or a factory cast block anyway, but you know, I'm just saying that's the situation. The other option, and this is the way Darren from Bullet Race Engineering tends to go, is that he'll run a slightly looser clearance than ideal at operating temperature, meaning that the cold clearance is still okay, so we don't really need to be so mindful of carefully warming the engine up. Now, the downside with a looser clearance at high operating temperature, or normal operating temperatures, is that we tend to have a lot of oil escaping through the bearings. It's basically not as easy to keep the oil between the bearing and the journal. So if we don't do anything else, this would result in lower oil pressure. The fix for this is to use either an external high volume oil pump, or quite often these builds will also go to a full Drysump, and that really fixes that issue. So basically, you know, two schools of thought here. These opinions are not those of HPA. There are definitely some considerations, but we're not here to say that billet blocks are not streetable, but you do need to understand what you're getting yourself in for. If you do want a little bit more understanding on that video, check it out on our YouTube channel. If you've got any questions as well on that particular video or any of our others, please ask those in the comments. We're pretty active there, and we do our very best to answer any questions we get. If you like that video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you're subscribed. We release a new video every week. And if you like free stuff, we've got a great deal for you. Click the link in the description to claim your free spot to our next live lesson.